everybody? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything and anything about shipping to Army Basic Training in 2019. I'm going to be sharing with you step by step everything that's going to happen to you in the first 24 to 48 hours leading up to you getting to the reception battalion. And it starts right now. What's up everybody? Welcome back to Team Swartz. Here on Team Swartz, I'm all about saving a young private's life at Army Basic Training. If this is your first time here and you are looking to get physically and mentally prepared for Army Basic Training or to learn more about the Army or the Army National Guard as a whole, you can start now by hitting that subscribe button and hitting that bell icon so you don't miss anything. I'm Sergeant First Class Swartz, your local New York Army National Guard recruiter, conveniently located in Midtown Manhattan in New York City. If you've already enlisted and know where you're going to training, do me a favor, drop in the comments section the location that you're going for basic training, i.e. Fort Jackson, Fort Leonard Wood, Fort Sill, or Fort Benning. So there you are. It's the day before you ship out to basic training. Packed your bags, you're checking your list, and you're checking it twice. You're feeling a plethora of emotions. Anxious, sad, excited, maybe even a little bit nervous, which is all perfectly normal. I highly suggest that you spend some quality time with your family members, because those of you who went active duty, it's going to be a very, very long time before you see your friends and family again, so definitely take this opportunity to spend some super quality time with them. Those of you that are in the Army Reserve or went Army National Guard, you're going to see your family soon enough, so don't worry about it. Lace up them boots, you're going to be fine. Because once you ship out to basic training, it's about to go down. At some point, midday to later in the day, you're going to meet up or get picked up by your recruiter to go to the hotel because you're about to ship out. If your recruiter happens to see your family members, they'll probably more than likely give you their business card so that if they have any issues, questions, or concerns, they can feel free to reach out to your recruiter to see what's up. So depending on your geographical area and all that good stuff, some hotels are better than others. Here at Fort Hamilton in New York City, we have a DoD contract with the Hilton Garden Inn out of Staten Island, New York. That hotel is amazing. They go far and above and beyond to make sure that our soldiers and applicants who are processing at and through our MEPs make sure that they are entertained and very well taken care of. They have an air hockey, a pool table, a ping pong table, they have an Xbox, a Sony PlayStation, they even have DVDs for movies, buffet dinners from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. You even have a gym and a swimming pool. So definitely enjoy the amenities at the hotel. Make sure you get a good solid meal in because it's your last supper. Follow the rules at the hotel, and absolutely under no circumstances will you ever consume alcohol, and definitely don't do any drugs while there, and no intercourse too. So upon arriving to the hotel with your recruiter will make sure that you get checked in. And then after that, they will give you some words of wisdom prior to leaving. So once your recruiter leaves, you will have dinner. If you want to enjoy the amenities, do so because it's your last night of freedom. But I highly suggest that you go to bed as soon as possible because you are going to be up for the next 36 to 48 hours, because when you do get to the reception battalion, you're going to start in processing immediately. So you will not see a rack or a bunk until the next day. Here at our MEPs at the hotel, they will mandatory wake you up at 4:45 a.m. Breakfast is served from 5 to 5:15 a.m. Boarding the bus at 5:15 a.m. to be at the MEPs by 0600 hours. That's 6 a.m. for you civilians. By this point, you're at MEPs, your nerves are kicking in, you're getting nervous probably, and maybe even sad because you're about to leave your friends and family. You'll quickly get checked in and you will go to the medical section where you will conduct one of two things if you're a male or female. Males and females will conduct the height and weight. Females will have an additional pregnancy test to make sure everything is good to go. If you fail either one, you will not ship out to training. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, you're not shipping. So if you're on the heavier side, the night before you might want to have a salad and that's it. Maybe even hit the gym, sweat it out a little bit. So once height and weight is done and the pregnancy test is done, you will go to the waiting area and or the cafeteria and you will chill and relax until your guidance counselor for your prospective branch of service that you enlisted in calls you in to go over your shipper's packet to make sure that everything's good to go. Within the shipper's packet, they're going to make sure that your direct deposit form is good, your home of record is good, your orders are good, any and every other document that's within this packet is legit and correct and authentic. At this point, you will ask any additional questions or concerns you have with your guidance guidance counselor to make sure it gets squared away right there on the spot because you're about to leave. Once the guidance counselor has determined you are good to go, clear to ship out to training, you will go back to the waiting area and make some new friends. Those of you who have joined the Army Reserve or the Active Army or any other branch of service and you're in the Delayed Entry Program referred to as the DEP program. So if you are a DEPer, at some point in the late morning, midday, you will go in for another oath of enlistment where you will swear in a second time. Army National Guard is excluded because we have a separate oath, and the day that we did our oath at the time of enlistment, our contract is binding and we are in paid status, so we already have military status. You do not have any military status unless you were placed in an Army Reserve unit in paid status. Outside of that, your contract starts that particular day when you raise your hand again. Many of you will probably have friends and family attending this oath of enlistment ceremony, this swearing ceremony, and they are going to be hanging out with you for the last moments before you ship out to training. At some point, late morning, early afternoon, the MEPS personnel will conduct a shipper's briefing and they will share with you what to expect, who to talk to if something happens. If this happens, you will call this number. If this happens, you will go do this, whatever the case may be. But they're going to designate a person in your group because they're going to assign you a group of 3 to 5 soldiers usually, and you will be traveling together. You will not be traveling alone. Because let's be honest, at this point you're probably panicking because you're thinking you're traveling by yourself. But as contrary to popular belief, you will be traveling in a group to your final destination. Do not, and I say again, do not lose your shipper's packet. So at some point, MEPS personnel will call everyone up, you'll go to the closet, grab your personal belongings, and you will get ready to board the bus or the van to go to the airport, or the train station, or the bus station, depending on geographical area and how they transport their applicants, or their soldiers rather, to their training sites. Here in New York City, we all fly to our final destination. So now once you get to the airport, you will get checked in, you will get your ticket, and you will wait for your flight. You will not know when your flight is until the moment you get your ticket. It is in your best interest at this point to use your meal voucher at this time to eat your lunch and or your dinner. The Army or the military has this weird thing where they love to give you a connecting flight that's like less than 30 minutes from the moment you land. Most of the time, about 15 minutes. So the moment your plane lands, you got about 15 minutes to hit your connecting flight, and that includes you waiting to get off that plane to get to the next one. So you're going to want to hustle to your connecting flight. Don't miss it. So during the connecting flight time period, you're not going to be able to eat. Once you do get to your final destination, many of you will find out that most restaurants, because many of you are going to be getting there closer to midnight, and a lot of the restaurants are going to be closing and or closed, so you won't have time or the ability to eat anything at that time, which is why I said to eat dinner earlier when you get to the airport. One of my biggest tips here is when you get on a plane, go to sleep. The reason being is when you get to the reception battalion, you're not going to sleep. You're not going to see a rack or a bunk or any Z's until further notice, until the next day. Touchdown! You made it to your final destination. Now you're going to be walking around the airport looking for some drill sergeants either at the information booth, or they'll be walking around with the brown round drill sergeant Smokey the Bear hat. If you're not going to the USO by the direction of your MEPS personnel, that's usually where most people go, but if it's not the USO, go to wherever the MEPS personnel told you to go. But most likely, you'll be going to the USO. And if you find a drill sergeant, you're lost, and you don't know where to go, make sure that you're standing at the position of parade rest and addressing them as drill sergeant. Do not, under any circumstances, will you address them by their last name. First name drill, last name sergeant. At the USO, they have free beverages and free snacks for you to enjoy with minor entertainment, whether it's magazines, TV, movies. The drill sergeant's going to be taking down your information and creating an accountability formation, and at some point you're going to be boarding the bus to go to the reception battalion once they get enough people to load and fill up a bus. Most likely, drill sergeants are going to want you to keep your heads down in your bags, having a moment of silence, because life as you know it is going to be turned upside down. Majority of the time, they're going to want you to be quiet. They're not going to want you to be on the phone calling home. Mom, I miss you. I'm so scared. But if you can, take this last moment to get some sleep because you're gonna need it. If you can sneak it in, shoot some last minute text messages to your friends and your family. I'm here, I made it, I gotta go. I might not have any phone privileges until further notice, so this may be my last text message. I love you, I gotta go, bye. Shortly, you will arrive at the reception battalion, which will be in a later video. So if you haven't already subscribed, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Feel free to drop some comments below any questions you have.